Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lugness Monster. Today, we'll be reviewing the Star Wars Black Series Imperial Officer Ferrix from, of course, the Disney Plus exclusive show Andor. Now, this figure didn't really play a huge part. He's more of a background character, but we did see a large part of this type of trooper in the finale, which was super cool. That one just came out a little over a week ago, so it was really nice to actually see this character play a decent size role, I guess you could say, even though he was a background trooper. But yeah, it's nice to get this one in the line. Let's go ahead and take a close look at the box. We do have this nice, I guess, mural artwork on the side, looking pretty good. Flipping around to the back, it is number 4 in the Andor line, and you can go ahead and pause and read the bio if you would like. We do have that exact same mural artwork going on right there, but other than that, there's not a whole lot going on with the box, so let's go ahead, get this guy open, and see what he looks like. So, here he is out of the box, and I gotta say, I'm really digging the look of this trooper. Like I said, he didn't show up a ton in the show Andor except for some background scenes, but I do think he did play a large role in that finale episode, and biggest thing is with that is the accessories. In the finale episode, all of these troopers were holding riot shields and batons, and this figure does not come with that, which is very unfortunate because almost every single time we do see this officer in the show, they are all holding shields and batons. So it is kind of a shame to not get those accessories with this figure. But it's not the end of the world because I kind of give Hasbro a little bit of slack when it comes to that, just because mostly these figures are based off of concept art or very limited images shown by Lucasfilm because they have to get these done in advance. And so because of that, I'm just 95% sure Lucasfilm had no idea that Hasbro had no idea that this figure actually carried the shield and the baton. So I do kind of give them some slack there when it comes to figures that are released before the show. So yeah, I give him a little slack there, but I still think he looks great. I'm really loving the all black color scheme. Looks good. Let's go ahead, get him off of the spinny stand and take a closer look at its articulation. So, taking a close look at articulation. Before though, I do want to go ahead and take off the helmet. The helmet here is like a soft plastic, which is pretty nice, and we do have this generic head sculpt underneath. Now, unfortunately, this is an army builder, but every single one of these does have the same head sculpt, which is a little unfortunate because it does make it a little hard to army build, but I still think it looks alright, and I am digging that head sculpt. It looks pretty good. And then the helmet, the goggles also do come off. Really interesting choice. They are also just like a soft plastic, so you can go ahead and if you wanted to, you can pull the goggles down over the helmet there to cover the eyes. Now, that is a weird look in my opinion, and it kind of bends the goggles in a weird way that I don't think looks the best. It also just kind of gives me RoboCop vibes, which is really weird, and I don't necessarily like it, so I'm going to keep the goggles up. I think it just looks better, but if you were to army build, I think the goggles down would be the way to go, just because it covers the face enough to where you could army build them. But yeah, overall it's not a big deal, and I do think the goggles up looks better. Then looking at articulation, let me get his blaster out of here. This is not a brand new mold by any means. There's only one new part, and that is the face, and then this little skirt piece here I believe is also new as well. But looking at articulation, arms can go all the way around, and they could go all the way up, so pretty cool there. Elbows do get past 90, which is great. Then the wrist does have a horizontal hinge on this side, and a vertical hinge on that side. Looking at the abdomen area, he does have a ball joint at the abdomen, so ton of range of motion there. Then also looking at the neck, which I did skip, he does have a ball joint at the top of the neck, giving him articulation there. Next up, moving down to the legs, his leg does kick out about this far, which is pretty standard for a figure like this. He also does have thigh cuts, so he does have a little motion there as well. And then he does have the double jointed knees. I really wish they would have went ahead and gave him the pinless knees, but it's not the end of the world. Ton of articulation there. And then looking at the ankles, he has rockers at the ankles as well as pivots, which are a little stiff and a little loose. Like they're like stiff and loose at the same time, which is weird, but yeah, there we go. Pretty solid articulation, not a bad figure by any means. First up for comparisons, we actually do have Andor from the exact same line in his Imperial outfit on the right, and then we do have the Migs Mayfeld from The Mandalorian in his Stormtrooper disguise on the left. And to be honest, the Migs Mayfeld and the Imperial officer Ferrix are almost exactly the exact same mold. Obviously, the face and helmets are different for the two. But the only other difference besides that are these little, I just knocked him over, the skirt pieces that go around here for like the bottom of the shirt. Those are different. Obviously, this one has the silver belt buckle. This one does have the like stormtrooper belt. And then this one does have like the cut in the middle of the skirt piece, and this one has it a little bit off to the side. So yeah, really interesting, but everything else is exactly the same. They both have the exact same legs, arms, chest, and yeah, so very interesting. I think this works out pretty well, though. I think it's very accurate to the show, so not really complaining about the reuse there. And then on this figure, it's exactly the same as the chest and arms, but on this figure, the legs and the head is new. So this one's a little bit newer. I almost wish they went ahead with the pinless legs that this Andor figure has, rather than the double jointed legs on this one, but I think this one's more accurate, so I'm not really complaining. I just prefer that pinless look. Either way, though, they look great together. And then next up for comparisons, we do have the Imperial officer Dark Times on the right, with the Andor Scarif Stormtrooper on the left, or I guess the Shore Trooper, whatever you want to call him. They both look amazing, and I gotta say, I really love that Dark Times Imperial officer. I love the big flowy cape. Looks great, and I think that this figure would look great with two of these Imperial officers flanking on each side. I really do like that all black look, especially between like the Imperial officer Ferrix and the Dark Times. It's just a great like color mash together. The all black, it goes great, and I do really love it. So yeah, they're looking great together, and that does round out all of the Andor figures that we do have. But just for grins and giggles, we do have the classic Mandalorian Imperial Stormtrooper on the left, and then we do have the Jedha Patrol Stormtrooper on the right. Both are looking great, and I know we don't really ever see these guys in the same scenes, because we don't see a ton of Stormtroopers actually on Ferrix with these guys, but I do think that they look great together, and they're all Imperial, so I'm sure at some point they work together. So it's really nice to see them all together, and I think they look great. Like I said, I'm just a big Imperial fan, and I love to compare all the Imperial Stormtroopers because they just look great together. So yeah, overall, I do really like this figure. It is mostly a reuse and a repaint, but I'm not too upset about that because it is very accurate to the show. And so overall, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5. I don't really see anything wrong with this figure. The paint looks great. The all-black color scheme is also really cool and really sleek, and I do like how that looks. I do wish that they would have changed the faces between figures, but obviously that's just not possible. And yeah, I think the only other problem would be those riot shields and the batons, but like I said, I kind of give Hasbro some slack for that, just because they have to rush these figures out, and Lucasfilm's pretty secretive about their projects, so I'm sure they just didn't give them enough information to really make that accurate. So like I said, I kind of give Hasbro a little slack on that. So overall, like I said, I think he deserves a 5 out of 5. I think I might go ahead and pick up another one of these guys, just so I have two of them flanking my Dark Times officer, because I think he's pretty cool, and it's going to be a pretty cool one to army build as well. So if you guys enjoyed, the like button and subscribe, then comment down below what you guys think of the figure, and I'll see you guys in the next video.